All right, welcome back to the marquee matchup for the Splash Pokemon League. Today we have a special one,
Very.
monikered the Whooping Part 2, between Linnos and Formula for Death. We'll be calling him FFD probably most of the time because that's a lot of words. Um, this
Oh,
started off, well, I guess we're jumping
okay.
right into it.
Yeah, let's not wait for commentary. These two have been apparently chomping at the bit to get at each other, and we're gonna start off with some psychic seed action on both sides. Let's see.
I'm going to try to see if we can get them to stop for a second. Um, yeah, so we'll talk about the leads in a second, but just a little bit of background. This started season 16 when during the draft, Formula for Death said to Linnos that he would pick a Pokemon for him, and then they would trade afterwards. It was a Blastoise. After the draft, Formula for Death decided to keep that Blastoise and began being called Jormungandr from Linnos, which is a snake. Since then, they battled the Whooping Part 1, which was a highlight of the league, where Formula for Death really did put Martin down like a dog in the backyard. It ended with a lot of smoke screens and a really embarrassing showing from Linnos. So Linnos is really hoping to get some revenge on that. Do you want to talk about the leads now, I guess?
Yeah, so pretty standard lead from FFD. We've seen this a few times in the league so far. So I think pretty standard stuff here. Maybe an expanding force, maybe a follow me is lined up here for Linnos. No Terra Dark at all on Linnos's team, so I'm very curious what his strategy is to counteract probably the staple that is FFD's strategy week to week, which is what move can I press that does a lot of damage, hits both Pokemon, and I can just press those moves over and over and over again until everything dies.
It's funny you say that because that's the same strategy that Linnos runs.
Yep.
One thing
So
that interests me about the lead was I was surprised to not see Volcarona lead because the Volcarona is really, really fragile in the face of Cleavor. If Cleavor gets to set up those Stealth Rocks, it's going to be really tough for Volcarona.
well, I'm very interested to see what they're gonna do. So I say we let them have it out.
All right, let's see what happens. What do you expect to happen this turn one?
I think Indeedee's gonna press follow me, and whatever Grafai has planned is gonna end up there. And Cradilly is probably gonna die.
I think a close combat into either Grafai or Cradilly is probably not bad.
Yeah, I think something dies here on Linnos's side from the Halucha here. That is lightning fast, might I add.
Yeah, the Howlucha is really fast, but so is the Grafai. They both are unburdened, so it really depends on where we put the EV investment. A lot of the times when you have an unburdened Pokemon, you're not looking to max out your speed because you just have to outspeed the other Pokemon. But when there's an unburdened on both sides, it's really just a game to see who put the most EVs in. If they both max their EVs, Howlucha will always go first.
Yeah. So I'm very interested to see who dies turn one.
My expectation is that it would be Grafai. I think Formula for Death is kind of has a incentive to get rid of Grafai because then Alakazam's the fastest in the battlefield. But with Tailwind up, now everything's going to be faster.
Interesting. Setting Sandstorm. I mean, obviously that equals a special defense boost for Cradilly, but I'm not really sure.
Well, there's also the special defense boost on Cleavor and possible
Garchomp.
Sand Veil from Garchomp.
Yeah, we could see a weather war that FFD was not prepared for.
Well, outside of that, it does look like it looks like Linnos might lose both of his Pokemon though to a close combat plus expanding force here. So,
Yep. Yeah.
Now that he has the sandstorm up, he's gonna have to do something with it.
Yeah, that lightning fast Halucha is almost invisible at this point.
Although there is still a chance that that Graphite Eye outspeeds Indeedee even with the tailwind up. Well, not a chance. We know that it does. Right? It went first last time, so. So the knockoff. Oh man, knockoff may not kill.
I don't think
no, it probably
will.
it wouldn't kill. Yeah, because it no longer has an item. So unless this Graphite Eye is holding a more powerful attack for this Indeedee, we're probably getting another expanding force.
We're looking at Terra Ground on Craydilly, which doesn't do it any favors from the close combat. And there's the first KO. There's
another
gunshot.
KO.
Wow, and he hit it. Woo! What a bloodbath of a turn. My goodness.
So what do we expect in the back? I assume it's Alakazam coming out for FormulaForDeath, but
yeah,
I feel like
expecting Garchomp Cleaver.
Yeah, I think with spending a whole turn to set the sandstorm up, we have to see Garchomp Cleavor here.
Yeah, it's the only thing that makes sense. The special defense is just.
Ooh, and we see Duraludon in the back.
Okay, so we were half right. We were right on one half of the field. I'm unsure of what Duraludon is gonna do here. It's not.
I mean, Duraludon can always just click a Draco Meteor. The Terra Electric's going to make it no longer super effective, but that's still going to hit really hard. And we still have the Indeedee.
Yeah, I suppose so. Sandvale provides what? Evasion?
Yeah, it's evasion.
I mean, a Draco Meteor is.
Oh, and the breaking swipes misses. Follow me. 2%, and there's the Earth Power. So Indeedee's gone. We got the Terra out, and
I'm sorry. Okay. Are we looking at special Garchomp here?
I'm
sorry.
I wonder if this is a mistake.
Oh, wait a minute. Is this
intentional? We're gonna have to wait and see. I'm interested to see if this was supposed to be an earthquake.
Yeah, this interview is gonna go crazy. I'm not
really sure. What is Garchomp's special attack? I mean, it is a pseudo legendary, so I imagine it's not terrible. It's 80.
Yeah,
but it's not great.
Yeah, that doesn't seem great in this particular matchup. I feel like you'd want to go for as much power as possible against such an oppressive team like FFD's.
I wonder if he was just worried about something like the flame body or getting burned in some capacity and just really wanted to make sure that his damage was going to be there. That's so much damage. The breaking swipes hits this time. And let's see what Garchomp uses. Scale shot. So I think that that seems like it was likely supposed to be Earthquake Earth Power, which is unfortunate, but I guess we'll wait and see till after the match. It could be some calc that he ran where he decided he needs to attack on the special side instead, but it looks like FormulaForDeath should have this locked up.
Yeah, I'm not sure unless there's some type of spread move that we're unaware of that is going to wipe out both of these guys.
I was going to say, even if Garchomp has Earthquake, I don't think the Terra fighting Archelodon is going to die to it, but and there we go. I guess the chance was the evasion boost.
Interesting. I am shocked. Right, honestly.
Game 2's up. So moving into game 2, what adjustments do you think that Linnos needs here? I feel like the lead didn't go well for him.
Yeah, so I think he needs to obviously prepare for Indeedee. Unfortunately, it has a focus sash, so he needs to get rid of it in some way, shape, or form, so that way he can deal with the other Pokemon. I don't know if Grafai has Snatch, but that might do him a world of good if he has it.
Yeah, I'm curious if we I'm curious if he set up the Sandstorm expecting the knockoff to put Indeedee to his sash, and after not seeing that, maybe we leave the Cradily at home and try to have a more aggressive lead for this.
Yeah, I think the 4 Pokemon on the left, Garchomp, Cleaver, Cinderace, and Basculegion, make an appearance here to try to get Linnos a game 3 against Jormungandr.
The really hard part about that is the Halucha does outspeed everything after
Yeah.
the seed, except for the Grafai Eye. But I guess we're gonna go ahead and give them the go and see how this changes.
So Grafai has knockoff and gunk shot. So there are 2 unknown moves that it has.
Well, we could say one. I think it's safe to assume that Linnos' Grafai Eye has Super Fang. Unfortunately, a lot of his moves that learn Super Fang only get 3 slots because
Super Fang.
that Super Fang's not going anywhere.
Yeah. This is a tough position for him to be in. I wonder if he has some way to boost Garchomp's damage. Since 80 seems very rough, I wonder if he's got a way to make it do more damage, maybe a support set.
Well, it had scale shots, so I think that it has some physical moves. I think the Earth Power is likely a mistake, or for a specific situation. I don't think it's necessarily a special Garchomp.
Well, I'm not sure what that specific situation is, but it looks really narrow here.
Yeah, I think I think it was either a mistake or it's covering for a burn. The interesting thing for me is I think the Indeedee Halucha lead is like the most like the lead I would expect the most out of FormulaForDeath, and it seemed like Linnos' lead had really nothing really to combat that. So I'm interested to see if maybe he was expecting a different lead, and we'll have something better for it this time.
Okay.
So now we have Cleavor Grafai Eye against Halucha and Archelodon.
Which
Now,
we know that the Arch has breaking swipe and body press. So I'm curious if he's going to try to, I don't know, avoid having his stats dropped by this thing, but I don't know what that looks like because it seems like Tailwind is pretty much guaranteed here.
now we only saw one move from Cleavor. We're not sure if this Cleavor is scarfed. If it is scarfed, it should outspeed this Halucha because it hasn't triggered its unburden yet.
Well,
but I assume Halucha would take a Stone Axe pretty well. It just being
yeah,
a
if it
neutral hit.
doesn't miss. Well, he's got Victory Star, so never mind. It won't miss.
Yeah, Linnos doesn't miss those, except for
Yeah.
the times when he does. But we don't talk about those.
I wonder if there's some lead remorse here from Linnos.
Yeah, I think having the 2 physical attackers staring down the Archelodon that you know has breaking swipes is not the place you really want to be at.
And close combat is a real danger here, a very real danger.
Yeah, neither Pokemon wants to take a close combat here. And realistically, I mean, FormulaForDeath doesn't have to set up Tailwind.
He does not.
Halucha outspeeds everything. The fastest Pokemon on the field is Alakazam, but here we go. We pop the seeds.
I was gonna say this. That maybe this is gonna be a quick swap into, oh my goodness, a counter Tailwind.
Traded Tailwinds. Again, with the Tailwind trade, it's a little interesting because all of Linnos' Pokemon are already slower right now. Unless he has in the back his Cinderace. I mean, Halucha outspeeds everything. This
Well,
Ndidi
unless
outspeeds
Lucha,
Cleavor, or the Ndidi is maybe a speed tie with Cleavor.
yeah, but if Cleaver has Terra Blast, I don't know that Lucha survives that. I don't know that it survives Terra Blast.
I mean, with +1 special defense, it has a chance, but ultimately, even if it does have Terra Blast, Halucha's going to be going first.
Well, let me see. We only saw one move from Halucha, which was one attacking move, which was close combat. So there is an opportunity for a super effective move against Cleavor.
Well, there was the Terra Psychic. Terra Psychic means close combat's not going to be super effective. His best move's probably
Right.
acrobatics at this point, I guess.
That's what I said. Like we're gonna see a different. We might see a different move into the Cleaver to deal with the Terra Psychic.
Oh,
Okay, so
the gunk
not
shot killing the gunk shot killing the Ndidi is pretty nice, and he went ahead and got the stones up with Stone X.
okay. I
I mean,
wonder why acrobatics into Grafai instead of Cleaver.
I'm thinking that Zach's last Pokemon is Alakazam, and the Grafai with knockoff probably not what you're looking to do for, or not what you're wanting to play against is Alakazam and Archelodon. Neither one of them really want to take a knockoff. And as we saw, if he would have went for the close combat, Grafai might have died, but so then would have Halucha. And depending on what's in the back, then the speed advantage may have been in Linnos' favor.
Well, we're staring down a 3-4 situation, but I think this is still anyone's game. Halucha's going to get an opportunity to make an impact before it goes out.
Also, now that we've seen Tailwind on Cleavor, any of these Pokemon could have Protect too. And with how fast things are and with Tailwind, spinning a move into a Protect could be devastating in this board state.
Okay, so we take the okay. We take the acrobatics, respond with the aerial ace.
And we got an iron defense.
There's an iron defense. Okay, we're doing it. It's happening.
Now, here's an interesting thought. I wonder if this Earth Power maybe was a tech for the Archelodon.
Setting body press? Or setting iron defense for body press?
FormulaForDeath is a chronic setup user. Even if setting up means he's going to lose the match, he will go for it.
Yes.
With how physically tilted Linnos' team is, a +4 defense Archelodon may be unkillable. I mean, like his only real special attacker that he brought with him is Basculegion, and that's still even better as a physical attacker.
Well, we know that Cleaver is faster than the Archelodon, so if it survives the expanding force, which I think it did last game.
Was it from Alakazam?
Yes, I believe it was.
Because this Alakazam is going to be the fastest thing on the
last
battlefield.
Game, it did 74% to a Terrad Cleavor, so it will get an opportunity to respond. And with how frail Alakazam is, there's the Terra fighting, there's the expanding force, loads of damage, X Scissor.
Oh, the X Scissor. One shots, and there's that Earth Power.
And it did not do as much as I'm sure Linnos was hoping. There's
However,
no Tailwind anymore.
Cleavor did survive. Depending on the set, I think we have a speed tie with Cleavor and Archelodon. So anyone's game there, but Garchomp should be the fastest.
Yeah, I think this game is pretty much locked up for Linnos. He still has one in the back. Oh.
Well, it's really going to depend on how much HP this Archelodon ends up with.
Okay, so if it's a special attacker in the back, the special defense drop could be huge.
Well, this isn't a special attacker. It
And that
seems like
body
it's
press,
slower,
that body
and
press is
it's
looking
gonna be
real.
it's gonna be weak to body press. So
Yep, that
we're
body
gonna
press is
need
looking real good.
grade DB Dealy to survive this.
Yeah, and I don't know that happens. And there it
There is
is.
no survive.
Man, and there it is.
Well, as is classic for the whooping, Linnos
It
takes
has to
another
be.
L in this head-to-head.
Yep.
He's not gonna appreciate that one, I'm sure.
Yeah. Let's get them in here and see what they got for us. FFD, how are you feeling after that victory?
Uh, that pretty much went kind of how I expected, except I didn't think he would bring Tailwind. But I didn't see, as soon as I saw No Terra Dark, I was like, well, I don't know what's gonna want to take an expanding force on psychic terrain.
Right.
Even though he like went Terra Psychic, it still did a ton of damage.
Yes. Yes, it did.
Yeah, I was also interested. I was interested seeing the Tailwind because if you both trade Tailwinds, it seems like all your Pokemon are still faster. At least the ones that were brought.
Yeah, I didn't have speed investment on anything really except for the Alakazam and the Hawlucha. So Tailwind was just kind of a way to just see if I could maybe outspeed something with Duraludon and get like an Iron Defense or a Breaking Swipe before he attacked. And then try to use that to be like my second sweeper if Alakazam doesn't work. And it worked in a little bit game one, but I also did not account for Unburden on Grafaiai. So I was confused for a turn or two at the beginning when I was outsped. When I used expanding force, but he still hit me first with knockoff. I was really confused as to how it happened for like 2 or 3 turns. And then I was like, oh wait, it can't only have prankster.
Yeah, that's fair. I have a
Well,
question for you, Linnos.
yeah.
What
It might be
was
the
the
same
Earth
person.
Power on Garchomp? Was that a tech for the Archelodon, or was it supposed to be?
Yeah, it one shots Archeludon.
One shot
Under
Archelodon
what
if
circumstances?
it doesn't Terra, I assume.
If it doesn't Terra, it one shots Archeludon.
I see.
And if he's Eviolited, it two shots. But that's why I ran knockoff, so I could I never got a chance to check what item he was running on Archeludon.
Well, seeing as the
but if it wasn't
5%, seeing as the Earth Power only did 25% while he was Terra, if it was one shot, then it had to have been Eviolite, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So it would have two shot if it wasn't fighting Terra. He just happened to fighting Terra immediately. That game won, so that sucked.
What was the idea behind not packing Terra Dark? Was it just the presence of Body Press, Volcarona, Bug Moose, Samurott? Were you just discouraged from that?
So Terra Dark is good against the expanding force, right? But he likes to start Hawlucha and Didi.
Right.
And then if I Terra Dark, he could close combat in one shot.
Right. Okay. So you were just
Psychic would resist both fighting from the Hawlucha and the expanding force while giving me an advantage against Hawlucha.
Okay.
Also, what was the thought process behind the Sandstorm game one? Was it just I assume you had Sand Veil and you just wanted to raise a special defensive Cleavor to try to win the late
Sand
game
Veil
with
on Garchomp, Cleavor with some special defense. Although that never ended up being a thing. It also gave me the possibility of breaking Focus Sash on Alakazam, because Alakazam isn't a very tanky. So if he
Right.
did have a focus sash, I just hit it once and it's gone after the sandstorm. Plus, it gave me more of an edge if he got special Duraludon.
In the future, keep in mind Alakazam would not take damage from Sandstorm if I'm running Magic Guard, which I was.
Oh, okay.
So the only
Well,
damage I'll
in
take is
that
attacks.
circumstance where you could run Synchronize or something else. Yeah.
I think the special defense boost is like
Yeah, the special
that's a
defense
good
boost
idea.
also helped.
I don't know if maybe the commentators can help me out here. If when Cleavor Terra'd into Psychic, it wouldn't get the boost anymore from the Sandstorm, right?
No, that's correct. Yeah, when it's no longer a rock type, it stops getting that boost.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Well, with the whooping part 2 coming to a close in favor of Jormungandr, the crusade continues to lop off the head. Will you be redoubling your efforts
Man, fuck
come the end of the season?
Fuck Jormungandr. I hope that last head lives just a little bit longer and never sees any nerf darts. Because
I see.
eventually I won't slice the head off Jormungandr. It'll break from all the pressure that it
I
has
see.
mounting on top of it.
Well, hopefully you get an opportunity to get some sweet revenge later on in the season. Unfortunately,
yeah.
it did not go the way you had planned.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, I think my ideas were there. And if I would have brought any Pokemon other than Cradley on that second game, like something faster, I think I would have had it. I think I chose the wrong fourth Pokemon, especially since I wasn't gonna Sandstorm that game.
Yeah,
I
we
expected
were
to
all
see
hyped for the other two to
Legion.
be faster, and then when Cradilly came out, it was like, well, we'll see if it can survive a +2 body press, I guess.
Yeah, I fully expected to see Legion last just because of how well body press Arch did in the first game. I expected to see Legion come in, nullify the body press completely, and then just go crazy.
Yeah, I thought about that, but I fought Arch Duraludon and earlier this season, and Legion got wrecked. So
Well, yeah, but that's electroshock. That's electroshock.
All right. Well, is there anything else that you two would like to add before we close this off?
That was the easiest game of my life. I spent
There
5
it
minutes making a
is.
team.
There it
God
is.
dang.
Yeah, there it is.
God
yeah,
dang.
yeah. I hope everybody who prepped for you, you know,
You need me to drop that
fuck you, Zach.
screenshot? God dang. I built my team in 10 minutes,
Fuck you,
went to
Zach.
take a nap.
And
God.
with that, the
Good game, guys.
marquee, the whooping comes to a close.
We'll see.